Hello everyone, it's Dexter Wansel.
In every era of music, there are artists who stand in the spotlight. And then there are the quiet visionaries, the ones who build the sound behind the scenes. Dexter Wansel was one of those visionaries. A composer, a producer, a pioneer, and a true architect of sound. His name may not always appear at the top of charts or headlines, but his influence, it's everywhere. From the smooth elegance of Philadelphia soul, to the futuristic textures of electronic music, to the sampled beats of hip-hop, Dexter Wansel's sound traveled across decades. And on the 31st of May 2026, that journey came to an end. He passed away at the age of 75, but his music did not end. His legacy did not end. His influence did not end. Because artists like Dexter Wansel don't just create music, they create timeless sound. And today, we're going to explore that story in full. Early life, deep origin story. Dexter Wansel was born on the 22nd of August 1950 in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, a city that would shape his identity in every possible way. Philadelphia during the mid-20th century was more than just a place. It was a cultural force. Music flowed through the streets, through homes, through churches, and through everyday life. It was impossible to grow up in that environment without being influenced by it. But Dexter didn't just absorb music passively, he engaged with it actively. As a child, he would sit and listen carefully to songs, not just enjoying them, but breaking them down in his mind. He paid attention to how instruments blended together, how rhythms created movement, how melodies carried emotion. This level of attention is what separated him from others. Even at a young age, he was thinking like a producer. Musical development, expanded technical journey. As Dexter entered his teenage years, his curiosity turned into skill. He began mastering the keyboard and diving deeper into music theory. But what truly set him apart was his fascination with technology and music. At a time when synthesizers were still experimental, Dexter embraced them fully. He didn't see them as replacements for traditional instruments. He saw them as extensions of imagination. With synthesizers, he could create sounds that had never existed before. Sounds that felt like space, time, emotion beyond words. This approach would later become the foundation of his signature sound, often described as cosmic soul. Career breakthrough inside the industry. Dexter Wansel's career truly began when he joined Philadelphia International Records. This wasn't just any label, it was the home of the legendary Philly sound, created by Kenny Gamble and Leon Huff. The Philly sound was elegant, emotional, and polished. But Dexter added something new. He added depth. He added atmosphere. He added a futuristic edge that made the music feel ahead of its time. He became known as a creative force behind the scenes, someone who could take a good song and turn it into something unforgettable. Solo career, extended story arc. When Dexter stepped into his solo career in the 1970s, he wasn't trying to follow trends. He was trying to create something entirely new. And he succeeded. His music felt like a journey not just emotionally, but almost physically. Listeners often described his work as immersive. His most iconic track, Life on Mars, perfectly captured his vision. It combined smooth grooves with futuristic sounds and space-inspired themes. But more importantly, it created an experience. It made listeners feel like they were traveling through sound. Other tracks like Theme from the Planets, Dance With Me Tonight, Time Is Slipping Away, continued this pattern of innovation. Each song felt like a different chapter in a larger story. Collaborations, deep industry impact. Dexter Wansel's work behind the scenes played a huge role in shaping the careers of many legendary artists. He worked with Patti LaBelle, Felice Human, Lou Rawls, the Jacksons. What made Dexter unique as a producer was his ability to understand artists on a deeper level. He didn't just create music. He created environments where artists could express themselves fully. Musical style, full analysis. Dexter Wansel's music is often described as cosmic soul. But this label only scratches the surface. His sound was a fusion of emotional soul, funk rhythms, jazz harmony, electronic innovation. He blurred the lines between genres. He created music that didn't belong to just one category, and that's why it still feels relevant today. Personal life, family and relationships. Dexter Wansel was known for being extremely private when it came to his personal life. There is very little public information about his wife. However, his family clearly shared his musical talent. His son, Pop Wansel, became a successful producer, continuing his legacy. His sister, Terry Woods, is also a talented singer. This shows that music wasn't just his career, it was part of his family identity. Lifestyle, character, and discipline. Dexter Wansel's lifestyle reflected his personality. He was not flashy. He was not focused on fame. He was focused on creation. He spent most of his time in studios, working on music, experimenting with sounds, and refining his craft. This level of dedication is what allowed him to stay relevant for decades. Net worth. Extended context. At the time of his passing, Dexter Wansel's net worth was estimated between $1 million and $5 million. His income came from production work, songwriting royalties, album sales, sampling, and licensing. But his real wealth was influence. His music continues to generate value long after its release. Cause of death. Respectful section. Dexter Wansel passed away on the 31st of May 2026 at the age of 75. As of now, the official cause of death has not been publicly confirmed, and while many may search for details, what truly matters is what he left behind. Influence on hip-hop and modern music. One of the most fascinating aspects of Dexter Wansel's legacy is how his music continued to evolve. Hip-hop producers discovered his work and began sampling it. His sound became part of a new generation of music. Even listeners who have never heard his name have experienced his influence. That's the power of timeless music. Dexter Wansel didn't just follow music trends. He created them. He pushed boundaries. He redefined what music could be. And even today, his work continues to inspire. Some artists are remembered, others are rediscovered, but a few become eternal. Dexter Wansel is one of those artists. His music lives on, his sound continues to travel, and his legacy will never fade. If you enjoyed this deep story, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And tell us, what's your favorite Dexter Wansel track?